First half, I think there's a lot of players who've been on the periphery of the squad, want to get minutes, and every time they're given them, don't really take an opportunity. There's a lot of lads there's a couple of lads certainly first half, thought Demps did particularly well, and then second half thought D Marley did well when he came on. Thought young Jed Gardner got better, thought Conor McElhinney looked bright and sharp, and young Bainesy getting a run out was good. So it's not ideal in terms of losing a game of football. We made a decision earlier on in the season how we were going to approach this competition without being disrespectful to it. We always thought it was more of a development competition, an opportunity to get minutes into and look at different things, and also an opportunity for lads who haven't been playing for the first team to show us what they can do to further their case. Unfortunately for them, they've had 3 opportunities, some of them, and they've not taken them. The reality of the situation is now we're not in the Checkatrade, so they probably will not play as much football as they'd want to play. They can't say they haven't had an opportunity. I think everybody's been given a fairly fair crack of the whip, and now what we have to do is clear some of those bodies out and create pathways for the younger players, because we've got younger players who probably would have shown more desire to compete, more desire to be part of a first team environment than a few who are considered first team players. So I've spoken to a few of them in there, and unfortunately it's probably time for them to think about leaving this football club, because we've got to progress the younger players. If they're not better than what the younger players could potentially be, and they're not pushing the first team players, then there's no point in them being here. I don't want to see players ever not playing football, so I'll be very, very candid with them, and they'll have to leave the football club.
No two ways about it. This tournament certainly divides opinion. Do you think, for the reasons you've alluded to, that it does actually have a sort of purpose in the game?
Clearly, we've decided to use it in a different manner. Some sides will say I think it's about £10,000 for the win. Obviously a Wembley final at the end of it, and I can understand some sides making it a priority, and it is a cup competition. For me, I just feel if we're going to do what we're going to do with it, we are a club in a little bit of a transition period in terms of the fact that you get 46 league games, the fact that we wanted to prioritise a kind of FA Cup run, because we feel the revenue there would compensate maybe what you'd lose in this. In terms of the way the games come, we played Sunday. We've got 48 hours to what is it? 48 hours. Yeah. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so 48 hours to this game, or less. We could have moved the game back 24 hours, but we didn't want to. We want to play it earlier so we can prepare properly for Walsall. So again, we don't want to lose games of football. I still think we've picked a strong enough side. They've rotated as well. Our lads should be strong enough to not lie down the way they did in the first period, especially after taking the lead. So again, look, it is what it is. Football sorted out. Unfortunately, for a few lads, the reality of it is they're just not part of what we're doing. They're just not capable, and haven't taken the opportunity to stay and be in this squad. So we've got to progress the young kids, and if they're there blocking the way and not competing for places, then it stops a pathway for a young player. So we've got to shift them.
Cal Dempsey, obviously
really
one
good,
of those fringe players, scored a good goal tonight. Has he sort of played his way into the thinking for Saturday?
Demps has shown he's got a lot of fire. He hasn't been plain sailing for him. He hasn't been first choice, haven't been a regular starter over the last couple of years for Fleetwood, but he's shown he's got a real desire to be a player. He's still got lots of improvement, don't get me wrong, but he wants to be a player. His conduct's been first class, and it's just a case of him getting an opportunity now in the team and staying in. It's difficult for the lads, I get that, when we make 8-9 changes, to go in and expect them to do well and all knit together. But also in life, sometimes you only get one opportunity. Some of these lads are having 5 and 6 and 7, and they're not making the most of it, and unfortunately the game moves really fast. For Demps, he will get opportunities because he's a real fighter. He's shown he wants to be part of the group, and the chips have been down for him, but he's shown that he's got a real desire to be part of our team. So thought he was really good tonight. Really pleased to have Conor Mack back. I thought he looked really sharp when he come on. And as I say, you know, we've got players who do want to be here, you know, and we've got to really focus on them and stop giving opportunities to players who don't really deserve too many more.
Eddie Clark, of course, one of the youngsters, went off just before half time. What was the issue there?
I think he's just sprinted, and obviously he'll be assessed. It looks, I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm not a physio, but it did look like he pulled up with like a bit of a tweak in his hamstring. You know, it's part and parcel of the game, and certainly when you're as explosive as Eddie, you know, you always run the risk of that. So yeah, we'll assess him, and disappointed for the lad because I thought he was growing nicely into the game.
Saturday, of course, Walsall at home. All thoughts turn to that now, and the importance of, you know, maintaining the excellent form you've been showing at home of late.
Yeah, I mean, we're off the back of 2 wins at home, so we are, you know, you stand on the touchline sometimes, and you know what this team's capable of. It'd be nice for us to put a nice little run together. Obviously, I think we got a nice draw in the FA Cup. You know, the opportunity to get a run going now, and obviously Johnson's Paint, to keep calling it the Checkatrade. I don't know why I've got it in my head. It shows how much I think about the competition. The Checkatrade now being out the way is welcome. And as I say, it's not being disrespectful to it. It's just not something that I feel we need to have as a priority. And maybe that filters into the lads. Maybe the fact that we make so many changes does affect that, but also at the end of the day, you've got to have anytime you pull a jersey on and play a football match, you know, you want to see some of the staff games. I mean, the competitive edge in them, and there's nothing at stake. You know, and our lads are playing in a first team game and an opportunity to show us why they should be in the team, and they just let it pass them by. So I'm disappointed for them, but we have to make decisions, and unfortunately, you know, we need to prioritise, you know, and use the energy on people that do want to have a successful career at Fleetwood Town.